Okay, so it seems like we have a pretty big knock-on effect from the entire Sinder situation and even more. And I think a lot of people are kind of missing out the context behind some of this post. So I wanted to make a video about it and kind of talk about why Rin Penrose has actually made this announcement, which has come out recently. And it says, notice, due to the associations of creators whose views strongly conflict with my own, as well as the lack of communication from company on the issue, I've chosen to end my affiliation with Gamersupps effective immediately. Thank you for the support. And this got 1.2 million views and 36,000 likes. Now, this is very interesting to me because obviously, you know, I'm sponsored by Gamersupps. I know a lot of what goes on. I feel like, you know, they've been a great company towards me. And obviously, with a lot of this stuff going on with Sinder in the background, and, you know, Sinder being a co-owner of Gamersupps, a lot of people kind of pointed this towards her, which obviously could be a pretty big factor. I feel like Sinder could be a big factor in what is actually coming on to here. But also, I think a lot of people have also been pointing the finger towards another VTuber called Kirsche. I'm pretty sure that's her name. Again, I don't know what Kirsche has done to do this kind of stuff. Again, that's not me trying to defend her. I just don't know. I haven't found anything. But again, apparently there's been some controversial stuff going on with her as well. And I think both of these two issues have kind of collided together, which has caused Rin to end her kind of partnership with Gamersupps. Now, obviously, a lot of people are saying, you know, this is generally so disappointing to see for multiple reasons, which I definitely do think it is. I feel like in terms of Gamersupps, I think one of the best things about Gamersupps for me is the fact that they don't care. You know, they don't care about a lot of stuff over on the internet and things like that. And I think that is actually great for a company. I feel like, you know, for example, if you guys watched the Sea Dog Cyclothon, which was out a couple of weeks ago, he even talked about the fact that, you know, sometimes they'll do skits on their podcast or even other places where, like, they would literally say the product was trash, like, as a joking way. And the company, Gamersupps, would actually go, yeah, looks good, you know, go put that out. Because, again, they don't care. As long as they, you know, kind of, you know, stuff is getting brought out and people are enjoying it, honestly, I think, you know, it's fine. And I think that, yeah, I think they have a similar stance whenever it comes to a lot of their talent, which also I think is pretty good because it means that there is a lot more protection for people whenever it comes to, you know, kind of being booted out of sponsors. Because as you know, whenever drama drops, for example, like Sinder, like all of this stuff, a lot of companies are very quick to go, okay, let's just get rid of them. You know, no problem, we don't associate with them anymore. And then, you know, maybe later on it either comes out that it was like not real, it was fake, or it even was real and maybe they did make the right choice. But even then, you know, obviously the massive witch hunt happens. They lose all of their sponsors due to them getting scared. And I think this is one of the good things about Gamersupps is that they pretty much like let you leave, you know. They don't like kind of just boot you because they think, oh, you know, we're going to get bad PR from this or whatever. They kind of let you leave whenever you realize, okay, my career is done here. And then, you know, I feel like that's just a much better way of going around it. And obviously, yeah, I've been sponsored by Gamersupps for about a year now. So I know, you know, they've been very nice towards me. You know, they've always been communicative. You know, I literally send them, you know, a message and I'll get a reply within a day, you know, about literally anything, any problems that I was having, which honestly, I think is great. So I don't know how Rin hasn't managed to receive any kind of response. Maybe, you know, they meant like publicly because Gamersupps hasn't really posted anything publicly at all. But, you know, maybe they could have asked whoever in the background about this kind of stuff, which honestly, I think should have been the kind of play. But again, obviously, I'm guessing maybe they did not do that. And also, I think, you know, Gamersupps have proved themselves in previous controversies that maybe, you know, they can kind of stand up to a lot of different things whenever it's the right thing. Because obviously, for example, there was one artist that was kind of using AI to kind of assist their art. And they actually made a kind of tub which ended up having some AI art on it, which like some AI like assisted stuff on it, which obviously a lot of people were not happy about. And then Gamersupps actually went ahead and removed that product and just took it down completely, which honestly I think was a good move from them. And I feel like, you know, whenever it comes to actual important stuff, they do take it down. But whenever it comes to some internet stuff and what people are saying over on the internet, I don't have a big problem with them sponsoring whoever. Now, obviously, you know, maybe they're also talking about some other people as well. There's many people sponsored by Gamersupps. I think it's such a wide thing now. And I don't think it is Gamersupps' fault inherently that this stuff is happening, you know? I feel like they have a very broad amount of, you know, people with differing views and everything like that. And I don't think you can expect everybody in, you know, one sponsorship bubble to have exactly the same view and have exactly the same outlook on life, because that's just not going to happen, especially with a company that partners with so many creators in the space in so many different fields, which I think, you know, is one of the things that I think is actually good for the space, because it brings a lot of people together in a way that maybe isn't so serious and is more about, you know, funny kind of anime girls on a kind of tub. You know, I feel like at the end of the day, you know, Gamersupps doesn't represent any kind of political or like view like type thing. You know, they just make Gamersupps, and that's pretty much all they do. And I think that kind of comparing to that is a little bit weird. And obviously, yeah, people are saying Rin, just say it's Sinder. If Cinder's the reason, then yeah, I can forgive that. Which again, they say that'd be like disavowing a talent for being funded by Israel. Kind of weird, but you do you. And again, I think a lot of the reactions to this is like a little bit weird, but you know, whatever you want. Because at the end of the day, it's their decision. If they want to leave due to that, then they can leave. You know, no one's telling them otherwise. People saying courageous and brave. It's an yes, guilt by association, the bedrock of American values and our fair justice system. As I'm probably going to need specific instead of passive aggressive on this one, champ. Which again, I definitely do think, you know, going into detail on what they don't like about it would be, you know, the better kind of thing to talk about, because I feel like, you know, then we can actually take a look. Oh, okay, that's pretty bad, but obviously they've been quite vague with that kind of stuff. They say, so question, have you ever talked to any of those creators you have a problem with, or are you assuming things regarding those based on creators, what they told you? Please don't tell me it's because of Kirsche, because if so, oof, which again has 900 likes, so I feel like this might actually be partially about Kirsche as well. I think it's like a mix of both, as I said. You know, and it's kind of weird. They say, who's Kirsche and what do they do? Obviously, they explain, wait, we might actually be able to find out. They say, a VTuber who isn't a leftist. Okay. I mean, again, that's Twitter's opinion on that, so I don't really want to get involved in kind of saying stuff about that. They say, thank you for being you, standing behind your beliefs. Again, if they want to stand behind their beliefs and stuff like that, I feel like, okay, that's fine. That's totally okay. And you can do whatever you want whenever it comes to partnering with companies. But I do think it's a little bit weird, especially with how good Gamersupps has been with a lot of people. You know, yes, maybe they do sponsor some people who are a bit more controversial, who don't have the same political opinion as you or whatever. But at the end of the day, you're not interacting with that person. You're not kind of doing things with them. You're literally just promoting Gamersupps, which has nothing really to do with that person either. Which again, I just don't think, you know, is the end of the world. And obviously, as I said, it's also harder to kind of judge this as well due to the fact that they haven't mentioned anyone in specific on what they've done, because I think it'd be much easier to judge of whether they were justified in kind of, you know, giving this up or whatever, if we actually looked at who the person was that, you know, was the reason why they decided, okay, I've had enough. Because again, then maybe we could see what they've said, stuff like that, and what kind of affiliation they've had with Gamersupps. Then you could kind of see it, but obviously they haven't provided any of that, so that is pretty disappointing to see. But as I said, this is more than likely another knock-on situation from the Sinder stuff, and also from the stuff that Kirsche has apparently said. Again, I'm not too sure on that, and maybe even some other people involved, which honestly is pretty kind of concerning to see. But I think it's fine. I feel like a lot of people still have their trust in Gamersupps, especially the people that are with them, because they know how reliable and stuff they are, and how great they've been, and how supportive they've been. Because again, I feel like they've been great to me. They've been supportive to me. They have some great products. So again, you know, it's just been great overall. But my voice is going, so I'm going to end the video here. If you guys do enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and leave me a comment down below telling me what you think about the situation. And as I said, you know, obviously this whole video has been about Gamersupps. Go over to Gamersupps, use my code Kirsche, get 10% off. You can get some shirts like this. Obviously, it looks very, very nice. So I definitely recommend going over there, checking it out. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.